So the other day, Crystal and I did a breaking news video discussing how the Supreme Court slapped down Trump's tariffs. And naturally, he, of course, crashed out as a result of that. And, it's now been days since that decision. And he's basically, totally flipped what he said. And he's now saying, I'm going to do another 10% tariff on people, but through a different legal direction. And then he upped it the day after that to actually 15%. Now it's going to be a 15% tariff. Suck on that. And this is one of the things about Republicans that pisses me off the most. I can't even tell you how many times a court will say something, it'll be definitive, we'll know what the law is. And then the right just does the illegal thing again. And then if it gets slapped down again, they'll just do the illegal thing again. It's fucking endless here. And with the tariffs, it was actually super important that they slapped it down because what the Supreme Court did, knowingly or not, is slow down the inevitable decline of the dollar and the dropping of the dollar as the world reserve currency. Because it gives other countries more time to slowly get off the dollar as opposed to doing it rapidly. Because with Trump's trade war and his tariffs, it made it so that, they're speed running the end of America as we know it, right? So it was a super important decision, but with Trump coming out and just slapping another 10% tariff and then making it 15%, obviously people around the world are going to go, what the fuck? Maybe we should just dump the dollar ASAP, okay? But a great point that a lot of you guys made in the wake of that decision is okay, so they're going to refund the corporations, but not us? We're the ones who had to pay the tariffs but through higher prices, so why wouldn't we be the ones to get a check? Fuck the corporations. They're going to get refunds, but we're not. That's crazy. And so effectively here you have CNN asking Scott Bessent this exact question. All right, so are people going to get reimbursed for this shit? And look at his vile reaction.
Will you refund the roughly $134 billion in revenue taken by these emergency tariffs?
Well, Dana, that's not the big question. Let's just level set here. What the Supreme Court did was a very narrow reading of the president's authority under the IEEPA tariffs. We have other tariff authorities which have been functioning, Section 232 tariffs, Section 301 tariffs. And Dana, when you say it's a big question, that's bad framing because the Supreme Court didn't even address that. The Supreme Court remanded it down to a lower court, and we will follow what they say, but that could be weeks or months when we hear them. So the Supreme Court did not address refunds.
Sure, they didn't address refunds. That is clearly going to be up to you, which is why
No, Dana, it is not up to me. It is
not you.
It is not up to the administration. It is up to the lower court. Let's just be clear on that.
Okay. Well, the Justice Department told a federal appeals court in this very case last year, if tariffs imposed on plaintiffs during these appeals are ultimately held unlawful, then the government will issue refunds to plaintiffs.
Again, I'm not going to get out ahead of the court. We will follow the court's direction. But as I said, that could be weeks or months away. That decision was not rendered on Friday.
Literally anything and everything to not do the right thing and be responsible and pay people back for what was basically stolen from them because of shitty policy. Anything to not do the right thing is what we're witnessing here. Are you ready for this? I love this. In light of the Supreme Court tariff ruling, Governor Pritzker sent President Donald Trump an invoice of $8.6 billion. It says, President Donald J. Trump to the White House, your tariff taxes wreaked havoc on farmers, enraged our allies, and sent grocery prices through the roof. This morning, your handpicked Supreme Court justices notified you that they are also unconstitutional. On behalf of the people of Illinois, I demand a refund of $1,700 for every family in Illinois. There are some 5.1 million households in my state, bringing the total damages you owe to about $8.6 billion. The Supreme Court has ruled that this is yet one more unconstitutional act by you and your administration. This letter and the attached invoice stand as an official notice that compensation is owed to the people of Illinois, and if you do not comply, we will pursue further action. Sincerely, J.B. Pritzker. This is a badass move, bro. This is a badass move. It's a literal invoice that he sent them. $1,700 for every single family in his state. I fucking love it. I love it. In fact, every Democratic governor should be doing the same thing. Because the number one comment that I saw you guys make after that Supreme Court decision is that's great and all, but you're telling me maybe the corporations will get a refund, but we won't get a refund? That is fucking insane. And isn't it crazy that's always how it works? When we talk about bailouts, after the Great Recession, the subprime mortgage crisis and the Great Recession, the bailout was give the companies a bunch of money, give the financial institutions a bunch of money, and hope that it trickles down. Well, this is finally people are standing up and going, fuck trickle down, bitch. Give it directly to us. We're the ones who deserve the bailout. Okay? But then, of course, like we discussed, worth reminding everyone that by imposing a 15% global tariff for no particular reason, Trump has just blown up every trade deal he himself negotiated and signed over the past year. So yet again, with Trump going, I'm going to do a 10% tariff. No, now I'm going to do a 15% tariff. I'm going to do tariffs through this legal avenue or that legal avenue. Now, again, deals he made, totally blowing him up, totally ruining relationships yet again around the world. And it's all because we're basically run by a man-child who refuses to do the right thing, refuses to do any intelligent thing, and is like, he honestly and sincerely is acting like a Manchurian candidate. Whether he is or isn't is irrelevant because he's either so stupid that he acts like one or he actually is one. But either way, the end result is the same. And we're all struggling and the entire world is getting fucked over, and him and his billionaire pedophile cabal are running out the back door with all the money after looting the treasury. Okay? That's where we're at now. But I love that Democrats are standing up and fighting back and now demanding restitution for the American people.
Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.